Hey guys, welcome back to Indie Beans. Today we are going to be talking about all things steaming milk and your beginning techniques with latte art. Now, I will say I am no pro by any means at latte art. My hearts, I can barely get them sometimes, but I'm going to show you some great ways to practice and some great ways that I utilize in order to get where I am now. So first off, I wanted to mention it's all about how you steam your milk. It's so important. So as a beginner, I recommend starting off with full fat milk, or I think a great substitute if you're lactose intolerant is barista grade oat milk. Super good, super tasty. I'm not lactose intolerant, but I still use oat milk sometimes because it just makes the best drinks. So yeah, steaming milk is super important. We're gonna talk about your technique, and I'm gonna show you how to make a classic heart. So let's get started. All right, so my first tip that I want to show you when you're starting out with latte art is to practice with water, because espresso is super expensive, or not super expensive, but it is a little pricey, and you don't want to just waste espresso, waste milk, so water is a great way to start. So this is actually a technique that one of my good friends from a coffee shop showed me. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna fill your pitcher with water, and then you're gonna have your cup. So you want to do just like you normally would do. So this is how I hold my cup. I tilt it at a 45-degree angle, and then I first want to have you practice doing your streams small and then big, slow pours and then fast pours, and make sure that when you're doing this you don't break your stream. So a little bit of that practice will be super helpful. Just do it over and over, maybe 30 minutes a day, and you'll be a pro. And then another thing I want to show you is how to bring your stream up and down, all while still pouring. Don't break your stream with that. And that's going to help because when you're pouring your milk, you want to start high first, so your milk goes to the bottom of your espresso. All right, so then you're gonna combine those. So you're gonna do a tall pour, short and fast, don't break your stream, and try to do minimal bubbles. And then you're gonna cut your stream, and you're gonna get closer. You're gonna push, fast pour, bring it up and over, and you're gonna have a beautiful heart. So let's go through the motions of what you're gonna do in order to pour a heart. So you're gonna have your espresso in your cup, and then you're gonna hold your cup at a 45-degree angle. You're gonna start and pull your cup up high, fill that, then cut your stream off, and then you're gonna tilt your cup again, get super close with your spout, and then you're gonna pour fast as you're rotating your cup, and you're gonna pull up, and then you're gonna pull out, and then you're gonna have a beautiful heart. So that's a great way to practice without wasting anything. All right, so let's move on to the next step of steaming your milk. All right, so now I have my pitcher filled up with whole milk, and I like to do just a little bit underneath this little divot for the spout. I find that that normally gives you the perfect amount of milk to steam. So let's go steam it. So it's important to remember that you don't want your milk too hot or too cold. And also when steaming milk, it's important to get a nice little whirlpool around in there. So it's infusing your foam and stretching those fat molecules in the milk. So first, I'm just gonna talk through how you start to steam milk. So I am gonna go ahead and put this in here. This is super awkward because this isn't how I normally do it. But you're gonna use your hand to feel, and then you're gonna hear like stretching sounds, the sounds that you typically hear at a coffee shop. That's the foam being introduced into the milk, the air being introduced. So then once it starts to feel nice and warm, you'll then push this up and heat it up until it's almost too hot to touch. All right, so let's give it a go. So those are the sounds that you want to hear. so you know that there's air being introduced into your milk. And I don't know if you can see, but I have a nice whirlpool going here. All right, and now that my milk is getting warm, I'm gonna move up just the slightest. So now all we're doing is heating up the milk. All right, and now it's to the point where it's almost too hot to touch, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn my steam wand off. And my machine automatically purges the machine. And now I'll go back and I'll clean that. So let's go to the next step where I show you how to pour this milk. All right, so now that you have your milk steamed, I like to tap all the bubbles out. So just tap it on the counter, and this makes sure that the bubbles don't intrude on your art at all. Next, you're gonna want to incorporate your foam. So give it a nice swirl, and your milk should look wet like paint, like a beautiful fresh white paint. So now we're gonna go into pouring, and I'm just gonna do a classic heart for you guys today. So here we go. Start high, cut my stream off, and do a nice little baby heart. Not my best work, but you know, it gets the job done. And now here's another trick. So in order to use the rest of your milk and pour that, you just go right in the center and pour nice and high. And there you go, a little heart. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video. So as you can see, my heart was a little tiny. So one way that you can fix that is that pour a little faster, get a little more milk in there a little quicker, and you'll get a bigger heart, a little more substantial. But that's what this is all about. It's all about trial and error. You figure out what works best for you, and know that your latte art is not gonna be perfect every time by any means, unless you're making lattes, you know, 5 days a week for multiple hours, but everything is all about practice. So enjoy your latte art and your beautiful coffee drinks. Thank you, guys.